What's the best 12 gauge load for home defense? Let's find out. And first, let's end the myth that you don't need to aim with a shotgun. For some reason, a lot of people seem to believe this, but we have every shot size currently offered in 12 gauge, a basic home defense shotgun, and some cardboard. Let's see what the biggest spread is at 7 yards. I'll be honest, this part was pretty boring, so here are all the spreads, with the absolute biggest one being 15 inches. Yes, you still need to aim with a shotgun, but assuming we got past the first step of actually hitting the intruder, we'd better make sure we have enough penetration to be effective. Question is, what's considered effective penetration? I asked you guys, and this is what you said, you dirty bastards, but anyway, according to the FBI, ideal penetration is somewhere between 12 to 18 inches. I don't know who's working at the FBI, but I don't think they'd like what I have to offer, if you know what I mean. Let's see if number 9 shot falls within this range, though, on clear ballistic gel, and then work our way up from there. The wound channels, if you can even call them that, really aren't anything to write home about, but holy shit is there a lot of them. I was going to do my pinky test, but I just don't know where to start. Anyway, let's go ahead and measure the deepest point on this one. If I could get it to latch there, let's see. Somewhere between 5.5 and 6 inches, so I mean really not great penetration, and most of them aren't even to that range anyway. Pretty abysmal for self-defense, but let's jump it up 5 thousandths in diameter to 8.5 shot. Big thanks to OpticsPlanet for helping supply some of the items for testing. Like, don't use code BANANA because it will not save you 7% off your order. But why would they tell me that? We're dealing with pretty much the same exact thing with 8.5 shot, although a couple did go super deep, so let me grab my tape measure right here. I mean, super deep relative to all the other shot in there. Let's see where that one ended up. 6.25, this one was 6.5, so forget what I said about super deep, and it looks like those ones traveled down the same wound path, so I think 8.5 might be worse than 9. Or, I mean, they're basically the same thing. Anyway, let's jump it up another 5 thousandths all the way up to 8 shot. I'm just going to say, please do not use any of these for self-defense unless that is the only thing you have at your disposal. I mean, we are talking about basically the same thing across the board, even with number 8 shot. Some of them did go a little bit deeper. Let me go ahead and measure the deepest point on that one. And yet again, it's only 7 inches, which is barely deeper than the other two. You could look across. It's basically a straight line of pellets. Anyway, let's flip the block so that we can get some on the side here. We are moving on up to 7.5 shot, which you probably already guessed is another 5 thousandths over number 8 shot. Oh, now we're talking. Well, it's still terrible for self-defense, but let's go ahead and measure the deepest point on that one. If I didn't just drop my freaking tape measure, but anyway, here we go. Right at 8.25 inches for the absolute deepest point, and then the rest of them fall about 5 to 6 inches to 4 inches. There's really no rhyme or reason. Now, I know what you're thinking. Just jump up to the big stuff, you know, and I'm thinking the same thing, but we better test all of them just to see if there are any outliers or anything like that. I think this next one might be, because it is number 7 shot, which, you know, is only 5 thousandths over 7.5, but it's made from steel, and I'm thinking that might help it penetrate better. I don't know. We'll see. Forget what I just said, because it penetrated just about the same as the 7.5 shot. Let's see what the deepest point on this one was. Okay, right at about 6 inches maybe, and then the rest of them landed within the 7.5 shot range, so steel is definitely not the way to go, and neither is anything we shot so far. Let's flip the block back around though, because it is almost number 6 shot time, which is our first big move of the day, because it's jumping up 15 thousandths in diameter over number 7 shot. So far though, all the penetrations have been absolutely abysmal, so I don't want to even guess what's going to happen. Now we're starting to get somewhere. One of them penetrated super deep out there, but most of the other ones look to be pretty consistent. Let's measure the deepest one that I've seen. Right at about 9.75 inches, which is way more impressive than the other rounds. I mean, still definitely not enough for self-defense. And then the other ones landed anywhere between the 4.5 to 8 inch mark, which is definitely a lot more impressive than the other rounds tested so far. Still not ideal for self-defense in my book at least, but let's jump it up another 10 thousandths to number 5 shot. Appears to be an ever so slightly deeper average than the 6 shot that we shot last time, but let's check out the deepest pellet that I could find, or at least the one that I saw up close here, and that is right at about 9 5/8 inches. So, I mean, definitely nothing to write home about, and the other one actually went deeper, but I think the average was a little better than the 6 shot. I'm not impressed with any of them so far, but 4 shot anyone? Oh my gosh, it barely looks any deeper than 5 shot. My god, I mean, slightly deeper, but I'm not measuring that. It's still freaking terrible. So far, everything's been a bust, but on this next round, not only are we going up in diameter, we're also going to a high brass load, which is going much faster than any of the other loads so far, mainly because it's meant for ducks and stuff like that. It's also a steel shot load, but I'm not sure if that really does much of anything based on how number 7 did. Just pray for my shoulder, please, because this thing has been kicking like a mofo. Oh my gosh, it barely, I think that's the deepest, well no, that's the deepest one right there. What is going on? Let me measure how much that came out to. My gosh, I thought it'd be a lot better than that. It came out to right at 9.5 inches for the deepest pellet. At least the deepest one that I'm seeing. And I mean, the average looks slightly deeper than 4 shot, but really not that much. Not as much as I was thinking for 1,500 feet a second. Although maybe it's not getting anywhere near 1,500 feet a second out of an 18.5 inch barrel. I'm not sure. I can't really check the velocity on that, but let's jump to 2 shot. Basically the same load, except a wider diameter. Let me guess, really not any better? Yep, not really any better than number 3 shot, so let's go ahead and measure the deepest point on this one, I guess. Man, I cannot believe these rounds anyway. The deepest point on this one is right at 8 7/8 inches about. Actually, I think I found one that went slightly deeper, right at about 9 1/4 inches. Freaking pitiful. But we got another gel block and we got plenty more loads, and we are getting away from the number system real quick to jump up to BB, which is 30 thousandths larger in diameter than number 2 shot. I have big expectations for this one. Alright, still does not appear to have gotten to the sweet spot of the gel block, but definitely appears to be a lot deeper, at least more consistently than the other rounds. So let's go ahead and measure the deepest point that I could find, and I believe you are it. So let me go ahead and measure that real quick at about 10 3/8 inches. It's kind of hard to tell with the distortion in the block, but 10 3/8 inches is what we'll go with. And then the most consistent line is right at about the 7-inch mark. We're getting there. I mean, a little slower than I would have liked, but let's see if T-Shot has anything better to offer. And it really only appears to have penetrated maybe slightly deeper than the BB shot over here. Let's measure the deepest point that we can find, which should be you. Get the good old tape measure out and see. That one is right at the 11 1/4 inch mark. That is actually pretty good. I mean, not quite to the 12-inch mark that we were wanting, but enough bird shot. It's buckshot time, which is honestly probably where you should start looking if you're looking for self-defense, but you know, that's just my opinion. Anyway, let's jump to number 4 buckshot, which is 40 thousandths bigger than T-Shot. Now that is looking more like it. I don't know for sure how deep that went, but let me grab my tape measure real quick. See which one went the deepest, and I believe this one is it, right at 13.5 inches. Holy shite balls, guys, we made it. Oh, I can't believe we finally made it to the sweet spot. I am so glad we did, though, and number 4 buckshot seems to be pretty freaking effective. But let's jump to number 1 buckshot, which is 60 thousandths larger in diameter than number 4. This is definitely the largest jump. Well, other than the slug. Alright, I believe here is where I could start putting my pinky in, and oh man, it really didn't go in as well as I thought it would, but anyway, there is some freaking nice cavitation. The balls keep going. Okay, one of them got stopped pretty short, but anyway, they keep going. This one stopped. Oh, this one stopped right at about where the number 4 buckshot stopped, and then the rest keep going. Oh my gosh, into the second block here. Yeah guys, 2 of them actually got this deep, and that is right at about 20.5 inches. My gosh, that is impressive. And these wound channels, I mean, they're right on top of each other, but they are pretty freaking impressive as well. It's kind of hard to see in the camera, but look at that. 0 buckshot time, or odd buckshot time, I don't know. Nicely done, nicely done. Decent wound channels, although the number 1 buckshot seems to have left much better wound channels. Not sure what's going on there, and it looks like some of them may have deviated out of the block. I see one down there. Let me check this side though and see where they ended up. Oh my gosh, there's one right in between the blocks. And then I believe this is another one right here. We will see. There's a little bit of a gap, so it won't be the exact depth right here, but right at 17.5 inches. That is plenty of penetration for me. Believe me, if I had 17.5 inches, do you really think I'd be making YouTube videos? I mean, I might be making videos of other sorts, but anyway, let's jump up to double-aught buckshot, which is probably what you have loaded in your self-defense gun right now, if you use a shotgun. The shotgun wad from that last round landed right beside me, so I forgot to tell you guys, do not try this at home, please. Please, I mean, I'm not saying the wad would have hurt me, but you never know. Okay, so it looks like 2 of them kind of glanced out the top. You know, I mean, one of them was in there for a decent while, but look at this group of 4 or 5, I believe it's 4. There, let's see where the pellets ended up. Okay, there are 2 of them right there, and I believe I saw the last one hiding down there. Not sure where the other one went, but let me grab my tape measure for those 2 right there, and we shall see how deep they went, which is right at 17.75 inches. That would be even better. Anyway, the double-aught buckshot left some freaking massive wound channels up front here. I mean, massive wound channels, especially for a ball. And speaking of balls, let's bring out the big ones.
I got you covered.
Not those balls, anyway. Talking about triple-aught buckshot, which is 360 thousandths in diameter. A double-aught buckshot is only 330 thousandths in diameter, which is one of the funniest things I hear, is that double-aught buckshot is basically 9mm going down range, when in reality 9mm is 355 thousandths in diameter, so triple-aught buckshot is way more close to it than double-aught buckshot, so we'll see how 8 pellets of 9mm travels down range. Massive, and I mean massive cavitation. My pinky just goes right in there. But I think that's because there are 2 pellets touching each of these shots right here. So it looks like these 2 deviated right out of the top, probably about halfway through this block, and then the other 2 keep going, and oh man, right in the second block, and I'm not sure where the other one ended up. I think it's that one down there. So pretty freaking consistent. Not quite as deep, but only about 1/4 inch off. Let me grab my tape measure real quick, and we shall see right at about the 21.75 inch mark. That is a lot of penetration right there. A lot of cavitation as well. I mean, that is just great. I know we've already gotten some pretty good results, but forget all the shot we've shot before. It's slug time. And if you think triple-aught buckshot is wide in diameter, just take a look at this slug. It is over double the width, or right at double the width. Oh my gosh, that looks like a thumb hole. Oh yeah, definitely a thumb hole. I mean, it would be a lot better for my pinky. Oh, definitely a lot better for my pinky. Almost looks like we got a 2-for-1. Let's see what's going on. Oh my gosh, look at that freaking wound channel in there. Sorry it's a little hard to see with all this other stuff going on, but that is a massive wound channel. Is that the slug right there? No, that's the wad. That's the 2-for-1 that I was talking about. Okay, there is the slug right there. Pretty freaking deep into the second block. We'll have to get my tape measure, and guys, that devastation is with a reduced recoil slug. Not because I'm recoil shy or anything, but I wanted to give the slug the best chance possible on the next round. Right at about 22 5/8 inches. Judging on this penetration though, it's not going to help it at all. 22 5/8 inches for that monstrosity piece of lead. Now I do have this extra extreme round that I wanted to show you guys, but apparently it's so freaking extreme that it's against YouTube's policy, so I can't show you it on here. So if you do want to see it in action, please check out the video I uploaded to Patreon. In that video, we'll also be seeing what would happen if we threw the kitchen sink at the intruder.
Kitchen sink?
This round sent to me by Emacs Tactical is literally called the kitchen sink. But anyway guys, go into Patreon Patreon really helps out the channel to do more tests like these, because I spent who knows how much money on all this stuff. Anyway, the biggest concern with using a shotgun for home defense, well, I mean, really any gun, is if you miss inside the house, what kind of risk does a person have that's hiding behind the wall on the other side? And unfortunately, Terry here wasn't willing to be peppered with 19 different shotgun loads. It's like, come on, Terry, just take one for the team. So I'm thinking if the pellets can go through both sides of a gallon jug of water after going through 2 sheets of 1/2-inch drywall, which is apparently the most common drywall used in houses, it's probably not going to be a good day for whoever's hiding behind the wall. And I really didn't feel like dragging a whole house out here to do this test or wasting a bunch of 2x4s, so I created a brand new steel testing sled, the Plaster Blaster 3000.
3,000?
Yeah, I think that's how many different pellets are going to hit into this thing, unfortunately. Now let's get started. But before we jump to this testing, guys, I have had about enough of this cheap, shitty shit plastic garbage that I have on this shotgun. 0 recoil pad. I mean, my shoulder is getting destroyed. Let me change it out to something better real quick. I'll be honest, this was actually a lot easier to install than I thought it would be. And anyway, this Wilkes furniture should be a major upgrade over that cheap plastic garbage I had on it before. I mean, not only in the looks department, but it also has a built-in recoil pad, so hopefully I won't get too beat up. Hopefully. I mean, quite a few of these loads are high brass, so they're going to kick regardless. Anyway, I know that most of the loads did not fall within the sweet spot of 12 to 18 inches, so although I wouldn't feel comfortable using them, if you're somehow crazy enough to, we'll just go ahead and test all of them on the drywall, starting with number 9 shot. Guys, that was a much nicer experience. I mean, I think it cut a little bit of the recoil out. I really couldn't tell with the recoil, but this is a much nicer experience. And anyway, let's check out what happened down here. We're at 7 yards again. Oh man, it kind of looks like one of those light post things that I had when I was a kid. I'm not sure if all the shot got through. I mean, it looks like most of it got through. Here we go. Oh, if I get pulled over tonight, I don't know how I'm going to explain all this white powder to a cop. Jeez, but it blew out the freaking backside of the drywall here, and the bottle looks like it is leaking, but not at a very fast rate. Okay, now it's a little bit faster that I lifted it up, but nothing got through the backside from what I can tell. I don't know if that's a good sign moving on or what, but moving on.
Wait, what about the spackling in the paint?
Oh, did I forget to tell you that the intruder broke in during your home renovation? I mean, that's why there's no spackling or paint or anything.
How convenient.
I really hope it looks cool in slow-mo, but anyway, it looks like we got similar results. There's the wad. I wonder how deep it penetrated. Oh, well, there's our answer right there. Pretty standard-looking wad, but let's check out the back sheet of drywall here. Doesn't look like there are quite as many pellets as the front, and our bottle here peeing a little, but it does not look like many pellets got to it at all. I'm assuming that means, oh, yep, definitely nothing on the back. 8-shot time. Shooting drywall is a very dirty business that I would not recommend anybody get into, but looks like we centered it up right on the money, you know, as much as you can with the shotgun. And here we go. All of them went through again as to be expected. Here's our bottle, and I do not see any holes poking out the back here. Although, oh, there's quite a few more on the bottle there. Yeah, that one is leaking down fast, but none of them got through the back here, so I'd say our bystander is, you know, pretty well off, if I had to guess. Moving on to 7.5 shot, which is probably what most of us have stocked up for sporting clays. Guys, it's not ideal for self-defense, but let's see what happens. Surprisingly, that one didn't knock over the bottle. I don't know if the back sheet of drywall just didn't smash into it or what. Anyway, good shot placement, and this one is leaking all over the freaking thing. I mean, thank you for cleaning off the table bottle, but looks like there's only a few holes that are leaking out. Definitely nothing on the back side, which, you know, I mean, is ideal for this situation, but not anything else. I can't remember if I said this or not, but the Plaster Blaster is spaced out right here to 3.5 inches, just like a 2x4, so this is the exact spacing you would see in a house. Also, we're moving up to 7 shot, which only comes in steel, so I'm a little bit worried for my camera if anything bounces off the Plaster Blaster. It is raining freaking drywall powder, but anyway, this was the first high brass load that I used, and I definitely noticed a difference with this recoil pad. This thing was beating the crap out of me before. If you're interested in a major furniture upgrade for your 870 or your 500, make sure to check out the link in the description below. And here's our shot placement. Let's check the Okay, we're good with the camera. Oh man, I was worried about that. But here we go. Here are the results. I do not see... Oh, there's where the water's coming out. I do not see any holes on the backside. Man, drywall is pretty freaking tough. But 6-shot is where we start getting into some decent ball size territory. We're definitely starting to see a drop off in the amount of pellets that are coming out, but anyway, I think this is the first one that did not knock off. I mean, it pretty much knocked off the second piece of drywall back here. What does that mean for the bottom? Oh, it is completely empty. Oh my gosh, all the pellets are right in there. There is a crap ton of holes, but I do not see anything on the back. It's like a maraca now. I mean, you could definitely hear them. You could definitely see all of them too. Also, guys, I spent a lot of time cutting out all these freaking pieces of drywall. This is only about half of them, so if you wouldn't mind giving me a like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Well, unfortunately, I do not know how much longer our bystander's going to be safe. I mean, if they were even safe with that one, that would at least freaking hurt, and I'm not saying it couldn't be lethal. But anyway, moving up to 5-shot. Pretty similar looking to 6-shot, although I don't remember there being that clean of a hole with the wad. Let's see if the wad is stuck somewhere in between. Maybe this was part of the wad here. I can't. Oh my gosh, I got white powder on my hands now. I'm going to have a lot of explaining to do, but anyway, I can already tell that the bottle is completely empty, minus all the pellets that are stuck in there. I do not see any exit wounds on the back here. We have got to be getting close. Maybe 4-shot will do the trick. Not saying that I want the bystander to be injured or anything. I'm thinking we had something happen there. As you can see, definitely a lot less pellets than number 5-shot. And how's that possible that it just knocked the freaking drywall? Oh, okay. I was worried. I was like, how the hell did it knock that out of there perfectly? But anyway, this bottle, I could already see from back there, got mangled. I mean, freaking mangled to high hell. But I hear all the pellets in there. Let's see if there is any. Holy shit. Oh, okay. I think there was one. Yeah, I think there was one exit wound on the top there, but holy shit, there are no more exit wounds. That is crazy. I mean, it freaking mangled this jug. I definitely would not want hit with that one though. I mean, I really wouldn't want hit with any of them, regardless of what they did on this test or the ballistic gel, because they would freaking hurt if nothing else. But anyway, we're moving up to number 3-shot, which is our first true high brass shot, like 1,500 plus feet a second. Maybe not out of an 18.5-inch barrel, but I'm really interested to see what the recoil's like now. Whew, definitely still stout, but not as unpleasant as I remember. Anyway, we are really starting to lose pellets, and there's our wad. Let's check out the back. Oh, shredded that freaking thing, and here's our wad, I believe. Seems to be a pretty freaking beefy wad, I guess, because it's shooting steel shot. But anyway, let's see how the steel shot translated on our bottle here. As you can see, there's quite a few holes in it, but it sounds like a maraca. Not thinking that's the best performance. 2 made it through, so that's 1 better than 4 did, I guess. Or maybe 1 worse, depending on how you're looking at it. Anyway, we're moving up to 2-shot. Yep, still a little rough on the shoulder, but, you know, more comfortable. I can already tell you I would not want to be hit with that one for dang sure. Let's see. As you can see, there's a lot less pellets. Still a lot of them, though. Knocked out the drywall, and here is our bottle. If there's even a freaking bottle left, this thing got mangled. As you can see, the back got shredded from something. I don't know if we caught that in slow-mo, but somehow there's still quite a few pellets in there. Probably not going to be the case with BB shot, if I had to guess. We are dropping off fast with the amount of shot, and what is this? Oh man, this has got to be the first piece of drywall that completely stayed in there. That is crazy. That must mean good things for the bottle. Saw that it got shredded apart. Oh my gosh. Still a freaking maraca. Something definitely came through, so I mean that's definitely better. Worse for the bystander, but there is quite a few left in there. Drywall is way tougher on shot than I thought it would be. T-shot time. is not a good sign for the bottle. There is a giant cluster right there. So that is definitely not a good sign. Let's see what it did to the drywall. Look at that freaking hole. That is not good for the bottle if I had to guess. Little maraca, but oh my gosh. I guess the cluster clipped the side of it. Oh, yep, you can kind of see where all the other ones came through. So only one of them got stuck in there. The bystander is definitely not safe with that one. But now we're moving into the rounds that got ideal penetration on the ballistic gels, so I don't think anybody's safe anymore. And did you hear that? It's buckshot time! So did I mention that I don't think anybody's safe with these next rounds? I mean, look at my freaking camera. It is soaked. And I mean, it's only a few feet away, but that still splattered it. And here is our bottle back here. Okay, guys. No maraca on this one. It is just completely shredded apart. Wow. That bystander is not having a good day. And one thing that I did realize, which is making me have a better day, is that all of this white powder is just absorbing all the water. So I'll have a lot less explaining to do later. I think it's safe to say from here on out they are all going through whatever's on the table basically, but let's see which one does the most damage. Looks like most of the pellets hit where the bottle was, which is not good for our bystander bottle. And they definitely came out the backside of the drywall. I don't know why I looked at that. Here is our bottle though. And oh my gosh, is it mangled. It looks like, yep, that's definitely the front. So it looks like a good portion of them came out the side again. But even the ones that hit the center went straight through, as you could see by these two. You're really not stopping buckshot. Well, I mean, you might stop buckshot, but this wall is definitely not stopping buckshot. And now we're moving into the really big balls. Things are not looking good. Basically, all those appear to be where the bottle was. And oh my gosh, look at this freaking spray all over my camera. My gosh, it must have done. Oh, okay. Okay, that is not a bystander any longer. That is definitely the most mangled bottle we've seen. And I think this, no, that's the front. Wait. I can't even tell which one's the front and which one's the back. Okay, this looks like the back, but this is definitely the most mangled bottle we've seen. Double lot buckshot time, which is probably what you have loaded up in your shotgun right now if I had to guess. I can already tell you your mother-in-law's not doing too well after that. Holy crap, holy. Most of those landed on the bottle as well, which is back here. And oh, yeah, your mother-in-law's definitely not doing too well. Holy crap, holy. I mean, this is the exit wound, I believe, and it looks almost as bad as the front. My gosh, double-aught buckshot is not stopping behind any walls, that's for dang sure. Unless you have steel walls or something. On to the biggest balls of them all. Well, other than the one that's in the kitchen sink. I could be wrong, but that one seemed to open up quite a bit more than it did on the cardboard we initially shot at. That's pretty surprising, and this time I think it was your grandma behind. Oh my gosh. Grandma? Grandma, are you okay? Oh, there you are, girl. You are not looking too hot. My gosh, you got mangled. Those balls just went straight through you. Slug time! Or should I say, mess time? Either those are hitting to the right or I misjudged the bead on that shot because it definitely hit to the right. Future Banana here, and I think I got the issue figured out. Apparently on these cheap 870 clones, you cannot assume that the front bead sight is going to be centered on this notch system back here. So dumb me for assuming that. But it still hit the bottle and I saw it over here and my gosh, it just took a giant chunk out of the freaking side of the bottle. There is a ton of water left in there. Well, actually I should probably be cleaning off the table with it. Really didn't do a whole lot, but there was a ton of water left in there, and my gosh. I think it's safe to say that the slug would have went straight through this if it hit it dead on. So what's the best shot size for home defense? Well, it really depends on what your needs are, and I'm not sure what your needs are, but don't forget to check out the Patreon video featuring 2 absolutely insane 12-gauge loads. Or at least I hope they're insane. And remember, don't let ballistics drive you bananas.